This is American Fork.
I had a professor at school that would be like, I get cocaine in my teacher mailbox.
If the House of Representatives passes a joint resolution, students would be completely defenseless against COVID.
It depends on the tech savviness of the teacher. It could be triple their workload.
I think we should start a COVID jar that anyone that brings up a COVID story has to put $5. Ultimate Sauce is amazing.
It resembles really thick bacon, like maybe 4 times as thick as a standard bacon.
Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. If this is your first time listening, we're a group of friends who have been friends for 73.9997% of our lives. Is that right?
I think that's accurate.
That's an average.
I tried to figure it out.
Yeah, I think it was
accurately.
0.9984.
Oh,
if
okay.
my
Sorry.
calculation was correct.
I apologize, listener. We've all grown up very, very similar, but as we've grown up into adults, we're now very different. And despite our differences, we're still getting along great. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, we're Republicans and
for the most
Democrats and atheists and
Everything
Mormons.
in between. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that most of America and the world can take note and start getting along. So that's why we're here.
I like it.
Yeah. Jake, is there some housekeeping you can give us?
There is some housekeeping.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, we have our website. It's AmericanForks.com. You can reliably listen to all of our past episodes, including this one. We have...
What do you say it like that for?
Well, just in case, for any reason, the podcatchers go down or
yeah.
whatever.
I messed it up. I get it.
And anyway, yeah, they're all there. All of our episodes are there. Contact information. We have a phone number, 385-DAD-0-MUG. It's actually just a Google Voice line, so you can call and leave a voicemail or send a text message if you have any information or stuff that you'd like to share, feedback, comments, suggestions, whatever. And we are on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at American Forked, where we post the latest episodes when they come out. But if you subscribe to our show on any one of the podcatchers and click to get notified, you'll know as soon as every episode is out each week.
Exactly. And we also have an email address, info@americanforks.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I answer those emails, and I will answer you, believe it or not.
He will.
That's how crazy I am.
He'll probably try to be your best friend. So
Beware.
Be willing to be ready to make a new friend when you send an email.
Be willing and beware. That's great. So how you doing, Phil? Phil's at my left.
I'm here. I'm ready. Happy.
There he is. His voice is buttery.
Good to go.
Buttered up.
So buttered.
Jake's to my right. Hi, Jake.
That's true. You're good with your directions.
I know. You used to hold your hand up like an L or something.
Yeah,
And my name's Jeff.
it worked.
Good. Well, we got the best micro news ever from American Fork. Ever. The title of this one I'm calling Narco JCWs.
Oh, I heard about this.
So you guys heard about this because we did bring it up earlier in the week. But basically, this was not reported in any of the news. I couldn't find it anywhere in the news at all. But we have an inside scoop.
Inside source.
We got an inside source. We got a rat, a mole. I don't know. We got someone.
An informant.
An informant.
We
There you
got
go.
a data informing personnel. So basically, a 30-something-year-old man fell asleep at the JCW's lobby in American Fork. And after a couple hours, the management decided to go wake him up and leave because the guy hadn't purchased anything. He just walked in, fell asleep, right? The guy woke up all scared, like every human does when they're first woke up by a management team of a fast food restaurant.
In a public facility.
So he woke up all startled and just left. And they were kind of like, okay, well, I guess mission accomplished, right? But then they noticed that there's a backpack under the table. So they grabbed the backpack, the management team, and tried to get to the guy, like go out there, I guess, and go, hey, what's your backpack or whatever. But then they realized this backpack's full of marijuana.
Drug.
And apparently not just like had some marijuana in it, but full of marijuana,
Bricks.
like to the brim.
Yeah.
Right. That was the word used, to the brim. So anyways, that's pretty funny. I mean, what would you guys do in that situation? Jake would probably smoke it all. Oh wait,
I'd call my contacts.
Be
Which
like
is
discount this week.
which is 911.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that one.
Well, that's what the management team did. They called the cops, and the cops came over to check it out. And apparently, in the backpack was also meth and cocaine, and they estimated that the value was around $50,000. So
That's so crazy.
it's so crazy because
It's an American Fork.
Right.
And it was like our friend who manages the store.
yeah, who told us this story? I think that's cool that we have the information.
Yeah, that poor guy's probably dead by now.
Yeah. Can you get killed for 50 grand?
Why? Because he lost $50,000 in drugs.
Yeah, those drug guys. At least from all the drug TV shows that I watch, that's what they do. They're like, "You lost $10, bang!" They shoot your wife and all your kids.
In front
Over
of you.
$12.
Yeah, that's how they keep control of their little army of street people.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't think that guy purchased it for $50,000. It's not like he gave his source 50 grand and took the backpack. They loan it to you.
Well, not even that. He's just like and again, this is according to my TV knowledge of drugs,
Which is flawless.
Their distribution. But that guy's just like a paid guy. Like he goes and does his job, and if he doesn't, they get him.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's
But-
like an hourly wage kind of dude.
But this is all like cartel like stuff. If this is just some guy buying some weed, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the structures are very similar, whether
Yeah.
it's Mexican cartel or, white boy and, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Science teacher.
And science teacher.
I would
or,
work in
or family dad.
I would work in studios in Boston where people would have that much weed on hand, like
A
tons.
backpack full.
Oh, just like bricks and bricks of
Laying
weed.
around?
Oh yeah, just around the studio.
Were they famous
come
people
on
or
in.
just whatever?
No, yeah, just like people, I
Yeah.
guess. It's a wild time when you go to music school.
They use the bricks to hold pedals down and stuff.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
Like at a certain effect.
paperweights.
They
and
put it
door
on the,
stops.
put it on the snare drum to deaden
Just
it a
set-
little bit.
See that sound? Yep, that's about a pound of weed.
I had a professor at school that would be like, "I get cocaine in my teacher mailbox." I was like, "What?"
That is so crazy to me.
Yeah,
Well, JCW's and American Fork is on their way.
yeah.
You can get cocaine in your teacher's
The Burger
mailbox.
Boys. The dope Burger Boys.
Anyways, that's a hilarious story to me. And it's not funny to the guy. You might be right. He's either hating his life right now or doesn't have a life.
Dead
Well,
in a
for
ditch.
two reasons. He's now in jail, so he's in trouble with that side of the world.
If they caught him, because he bailed before the backpack.
Dude, we never heard
Oh,
that he
He
that's right.
left. That's why they had the backpack.
I see. Yeah.
Hey, pay attention, Phil.
But they gotta know what he looks like. And they don't have cameras in there, I guess.
Yeah, they'd have him lined up and they'd be like, all right, pretend like you're asleep.
Yeah.
That was the guy.
Put your head down on the desk.
Now run away like you're scared. No, it wasn't him. Wasn't him. Yep, no, that was him.
I get it.
Lineups are hilarious. There's so many comical moments that can happen there. Anyways, on to Utah news. I saw this headline and I thought it was one of the most ridiculous things that I had to read it twice. So it says, Park City's, or this isn't the headline, but this is the summation of the story. So Park City schools staged a walkout to protest against removing the mask mandate.
I hate those triple.
Wait, Park City schools did a walkout
To protest
protest
against
the
the
mask
mask
mandate.
mandate.
So couldn't they just wear a mask though?
Phil's don't ruin my whole story, okay, Phil?
They're pro.
No, they don't
pro-
like masks. They're
No, they-
protesting.
No, they want to wear masks in school, and
But
the
they
Utah
want the
legislator is getting rid of the mask mandate.
they're protesting the elimination of the mandate.
That's so funny because they're pretty much saying, "No, government, we want you to tell us
Yeah.
what to do,
Let me
and we
read-
can't do it ourselves."
Yes, let me read this story. So here's the headline that was actually put out there. People are going to die. Park City students walk out to protest lawmakers' attempt to end Summit County's mask mandate. So droves of Park City high school students braved the cold on Thursday morning to send a clear message to the state leaders. They fully support the mask mandate in Summit County and more than 100 high schoolers walked out of their classes at 9:15 a.m. as a part of a demonstration organized to respond to the bill the legislature passed. So that's exactly right. They passed the Summit County instated a mask mandate.
Yeah.
Salt Lake County instated is that right? They put in place a mask mandate on a county level, right?
Yeah.
Then the state went in for legislation and they passed a bill that says no, you don't have to wear it.
Yeah.
Which there's no reason that they can't wear it. People can still wear their masks at school. There's no problem.
You can
with
still
that.
put up a sign say you highly recommend it, or businesses can say we really require it.
The other funny thing too is that districts can mandate masks, regardless of what the county, the city, or the state says. They can, because they're their own entity. I believe that they can run that. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, someone
They
let
can
me know.
sell weed even though it's a federal.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, speaking to the crowd, a junior said, if the House of Representatives passes a joint resolution, students would be completely defenseless against COVID.
Oh no. They
What
would
do we
be.
do?
They would be defenseless.
They can't mandate masks, so we can't wear them.
I know you can't wear. They're completely defenseless. There's no shot to prevent the virus.
No
There's-
vaccine.
There's no pills to treat the virus. There's no
No
masks.
health protocols.
There's no 6-foot distancing. None of that stuff.
No washing your hands. I guess so one of the things I don't want to get into a COVID rant, but one of the things they brought up several months ago that hasn't really gotten the media at all is that they think that COVID is airborne and has always been, which is a huge difference from like, the water droplets or whatever. When it's airborne, it means like when you breathe, it spreads.
Yeah.
Which means a mask doesn't help.
It makes it communicable as opposed to just existing in the air.
Right. It's like it's that the virus is actually small enough to exist in like vapor particles versus like a water droplet. Like
Yeah.
you spit out water droplets, it spreads versus like any breath, any breathing, it spreads.
Yeah.
And they say breathing, it spreads, which means a mask would help a little bit, but ultimately not very much.
I would agree that. I mean, I think we just COVID talk. We can. I think we should start a COVID jar.
Yeah.
That anyone that brings up a COVID story has to
Let's
put
put $1.
$5.
$5?
I'm sick of it, man.
I mean,
Phil throws $5
Put in
on the
10
table right
put
now.
in 10 cents and that jar will fill up pretty quick.
So, anyways, that's the story. I just thought it was so ridiculous that these in 100. I didn't look up how many students are in Park City High School, but 100 walked out. I know if 100 students walked out of our high school, even in American Fork, it would have been not most of the school. It would have been a portion of it. So
Oh, it's like 100 students at a high school?
yeah, that
Oh.
walked out.
Well, that's nothing.
Yeah, but it's still
It was the
Yeah.
100 students that feel the government needs to tell us what to do.
yeah. And as soon as that mandate got lifted, they just ripped their masks off, threw them in the garbage,
Yeah.
burned them, and they couldn't do anything with them anymore.
I don't know if schools, and I'm just basing this off of how church works for me now, but you can go to church or you can watch it on YouTube now.
You 100% have the option to stay at home and do schooling.
At most schools, that's what I'm asking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Especially because they issued out Chromebooks to everybody.
Oh, wow.
You can actually stay at home and do distant learning.
And
Period.
just watch class online.
Well, you don't watch class online. I wish it was that good, but the teachers issue the basically the in-class learning now is more Chromebook based, and so the kids that are at home can just go on, watch videos, read articles, learn
And all the
things.
stuff that the teacher posted on their Google Classroom or whatever
Yeah.
is available for everybody if they want to stay at home or
That seems like too much work for the teacher. Like, why don't they just...
It's less. I'm
What?
pretty sure.
it's
You would, Stacy would know.
yeah, so Stacy's an innovative learning coach. My wife, innovative learning coach for Alpine School District, and her job is to teach teachers how to use technology in the classroom, and having distance learning basically seals her job. She has to teach everybody how to use all of these online items. It depends on the tech savviness of the teacher. It could be triple their workload. Or other ones, it could just be simple. Oh yeah, just upload a spreadsheet or whatever, and or PowerPoint, and the students go through it and submit that they're done.
Right. Dealing with different teachers, I'm sure her conversations have ranged from you can change the format of this by going into your settings and altering these adjustments to here's the power button. Mm-hmm. Like
Exactly.
depending on the knowledge of the teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems to me like they could just broadcast the class on YouTube, and then unless it's like a hands-on science class or something, the only other aspect would be, okay, everyone hand in your work, your assignment, or if you're at home, email it to me.
Right.
Like, isn't that...
It's a weird thing because you have certain classes that are impossible to do distant learning.
Yeah.
Even the science classes, like my daughter, I was helping her with a science experiment. It was vinegar and baking soda and, whatever, but it's household items. But when you get into more advanced chemistry classes and stuff like that, you kind of need to be there with a lab, like in order to safely do it. Or ceramics.
Yeah.
My niece is in ceramics this semester, and it's like, cool. How are they going to do that if there's a distant learning day? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they can watch videos on techniques of how to do it, but is it really doing ceramics? It's
Yeah.
not.
All I know
Spoiler
from
alert.
when my wife taught is that they don't, like teachers, it's not a properly worked out like workload for the day. It's like you go to class all day, and then you have like 2 or 3 hours of prep before and a couple hours after. And if like you're a music teacher, like my wife, you're also running a musical, which you get paid like $45 for the whole year. Is like pretty much you're working like 90 hours a week for like $18 an hour, whatever they get paid now. I don't know, but
It's definitely a duty and a what's the word? There's
it's like a calling.
It's a calling. If there's an
Yeah.
emotional reason to do it, like a cop and
Yeah.
like the military at times, there's a reason further than a paycheck to do it. That's for
Right.
sure. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. You guys probably know it better because your wives have been teachers, huh?
Yeah.
Or working in the school district at least. Okay, so moving on to the next, I have another Utah story. So,
Wow. Utah's
Yeah.
busy.
well, I don't know. You tell me. I actually have 3, so strap in. The Salt Lake City Airport ranks 10th in the nation for.
Most annoying and longest walks between
No,
terminals.
that's number 1.
Oh, okay.
But they rank 10th in the most firearms found in luggage.
Really?
That makes sense.
Found in luggage?
Yeah. Like we're talking through screening or through carry-on.
Wow.
Yeah. Guess how many guns were found last year?
17.
376.
115 guns
Wow.
Fill
in
one.
Salt Lake, and we're number 10.
$1, Bob.
So nation. Go ahead.
No, you probably wouldn't know. I was just gonna be like, what do they say? Oh, whoops, forgot. Because I've done that before with like a pocket knife.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on my keychain. It's like, oh, I forgot about that.
Then they have to throw it away.
Yeah, but do you forget about a gun though?
I think there's people that carry guns every single day of their lives all the time.
Yeah.
They
And
sleep with it under their pillow
and they don't fly all
from
the
room
time.
to room.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
It's just part of their. It's an accessory to them.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So, just to put it in proportion, at the Salt Lake City Airport, TSA screened 7.3 million passengers. So 7.3 million over 115
In Salt Lake alone.
Yeah.
115 over 7.3 million.
I don't know math, but you're right.
It sounds like COVID's death rate.
So that, Jesus. So yeah, that's the busiest, the most firearms found at check-in was Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport with 507 firearms found, which if you do the math, that's over one a day.
Yeah.
At that place. We're at least like
We're every
every
other day.
third day or something like that. Every third, yeah. But
Wow.
they're finding multiple guns per day.
That's crazy.
Anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting because I know I wouldn't forget a gun if I had one.
I've taken one on a plane. Well, backtrack.
For a friend?
Yeah, I've heard of people. I know someone who took it on a plane a couple times. It's actually really easy, like to check. I mean,
Yeah.
Like, you just say, "Hey, I have a firearm." They say, "Open it up and show me." You open it, show them it's not loaded, lock it back up. All done.
Don't you need to make sure your ammunition is in like not on your person? Can you have it? Can you have the ammunition with you?
No.
No, you can't have the ammunition with you
Right.
or the gun, obviously, but you can check both. But the gun can't be loaded. And this is from memory from a friend telling me a few years back. But
I know what you're trying to hide.
but the gun has to be in a locked case. So you have to open it to show them that it's locked, unlock it, open it up, show them that the gun is unloaded, and then lock it all back up, and then they send it away.
And this is all at, like the first counter, like the Delta counter where you check your luggage and stuff?
Yep. You just say, "I have a firearm." They say, no, it's actually not there. It's at the, you go to the counter, but then you carry it over to the conveyor belt to
The
put it
TSA.
on. Yeah, and you tell the guy there, "I have a firearm."
Right.
And they say, "Okay." They call some guy over, and they look at it real quick, and boom. There's no special paperwork or anything.
Yeah.
They just
Pretty
have
simple.
a protocol they need to follow, make sure that ammunition's in the right place, or
Yeah.
it's locked and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to talk to your friend sometime.
So
Yeah.
what is the protocol if someone is like this caught, or they find a weapon in bag, or
Well, from what Phil's telling me about his friend's experience, it sounds like there's even a potential that people just didn't tell someone. And they're like,
Right.
"Oh, yeah, I need to check that."
well, I'm saying, what do they do
Well-
for these? Because it's not like a pocket knife you just throw in the garbage, right?
Well, you can check it.
Yeah.
So they take you back to the
Yeah.
counter and check it in.
Well, if you're taking it as a carry-on, I imagine there's a little bit of a kerfuffle. I imagine they're like, "What are you doing?" Because I've done that with the pocket
Goes-
knife, and
goes
they're like,
through the X-ray
they're like,
thing
"What?
and-
What are you doing with this?" They're like, "You can throw it in the garbage, or you can go get out of line and go mail it home." And so they could potentially say that with your gun.
Yeah,
Except
you
they
can't throw that in the garbage.
and if you showed up without a locking case, they'd just send you home pretty much, or say, you gotta have a locking case. So you gotta have someone come get this, or
Basically, goodbye, go fix it.
yeah,
Don't care if you miss your flight, you got to handle it.
right. So it's a flight stopper, I would say, if you're gonna forget to check your gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I'll never dealt with that in my life.
I've never even held a gun.
I don't know what a gun looks like.
what is a gun?
Aren't they usually blue?
Yeah.
All right, next story
A little
says
orange thing on
this,
the end of it.
This is also a Utah story. The headline, and I'm surprised we didn't bring this up last week because it was kind of a big deal in Utah, and maybe more of a big deal to me because it was closer to my residence, right next to Raising Cane's. The title is, "I'm a good kid, I really am. Teen accused of killing 2 classmates tells judge." Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But if anyone doesn't know, I'll give a quick rundown. Is basically in Hunter High School in West Valley City, Utah. During lunchtime, there was they haven't come out with many details on this because they're all minors that are involved. But basically, there was some sort of fight, and one of the kids, who I believe was 14, came and shot 2 15-year-old kids. And
In West Valley?
yeah, and killed. She shot 3 of them. 2 of them died, and one of them is, I don't know his condition at this point, but he was, critical condition in the hospital.
Wow.
They life flighted him out to handle it, but it wasn't in the school though. A lot of kids leave campus during lunch, and it happened when they're off campus. But they were all students at the school.
Wow. When was this?
This was, about a week and let's
Yeah, it
see,
was like 2 weeks ago.
just before
Really?
11 o'clock on January 13th.
Was it in the news? You heard about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, well, you need to get out of your bubble.
Yeah, I'm in one.
You need to Google. You need to Google news 30 miles from me.
Yeah. Hey, Google, do a thing where you do better now. Thanks. Okay.
Don't use DuckDuckGo still.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, it's an interesting situation. In fact, my personal story is it happened. The high school that my kids would go to, none of them are going there, would be that one. So that's how close the high school is to us. And I was taking my daughter out on just doing some errands, and there was a helicopter hovering over the freeway back there. And we were like, that's weird. What is that? And they had blocked the whole street off. And we started looking into it. And sure enough, yeah, they blocked the street off for the investigation. And they stopped the whole freeway, the Mountain View corridor that runs right behind Hunter High School. And there's a massive, probably 200-foot long chain link fence on the freeway that is all like a shrine for these guys with stuffed animals and candles and flowers and posters of people writing their names and stuff on there. It's pretty tragic.
So why did it was a girl that shot him?
No, it's a boy.
Oh.
All boys.
Oh.
And they're really
course
not
it
putting
was.
any details out. It's just
Girls don't shoot people.
no, girls don't shoot people. Guns do.
Right.
So basically, there was some sort of disagreement, some sort of fight, and then that fight escalated, and the boy pulled a gun out and shot them.
Oh, man.
It's terrible. It's real tragic.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in these situations, I blame the parents because someone doesn't come up with this idea overnight, and it's not an inherent thing, you know?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will point to the guns as the issue or the gun, but someone needs to operate it and go get it and bring it to a conflict in this situation.
And I feel like as part of like the human experience, everybody should probably get in a fight at some point in their lives. Like, and maybe they don't.
Like a fist fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, or just get really angry to the where both parties kind of explode, and then afterwards realize like I was way like I didn't need to react that way, and kind of go through that experience, not necessarily punching each other, but some kind of like angry encounter with another person.
Right.
And I think that's a healthy, normal part of kids growing up. Like,
Yeah.
not for everybody. There are tons of people that probably, are more passive and avoid that type of confrontation entirely. But that's all the more reason, like, I would think that parents should know, like, that's a possibility. My kid's going to go to school, and they might get in a fight.
Would
And-
it be sexist for me to think, though, that applies to boys but not girls?
So I thought that, but somebody I know who is
Here we go.
somebody I know who's in high school,
Oh.
who is a girl,
Mm-hmm.
just got in a fight, like just like you would say. And I was thinking back, I think I remember a girl fight in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually fairly popular where my kids are going to school. Like, girls fight probably more than the boys do,
Really?
or as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and see, and what I'm saying is, I'm not like encouraging fighting, or obviously we should teach our kids not to fight and how to handle that confrontation. But if they do, it's like not the end of the world. I'm saying it's like that was pretty normal for us growing up to see fights. Like I don't know the frequency, once a week or once a month or what it was, but it was often enough that I bet we could think of 5 off of the top of our heads
yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so for a parent, knowing that about your kid, like you would think that you would just keep all your guns just locked away and teach them like, hey, you get in a fight, people pick on you, whatever. The answer is never a gun. Like,
It's interesting because my solution to it is exactly that. People will say take guns away. My solution to it is more education about guns.
yeah,
Like, we were taught from a very young age, you don't point anything unless you intend on killing it. And if you intend on killing that piece of paper, pull the trigger, like target practice. If you intend on killing that can, pull the trigger. If you intend on killing that squirrel, pull the trigger. Like, it is killing something.
yeah,
That was pretty obvious to me from day one, and it made guns not a weird thing. It was a tool, just like a knife was.
yeah,
Hey, don't point that at someone. Hey, watch your fingers when you're cutting something because you'll slice it open. You don't want to hurt yourself or anyone else, right? Those things are taught with a knife, and somehow that's okay. But guns are looked at as an evil tool.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think you were taught knowing that because you lived in a very free, firearm open state
Yeah.
where it's common to know somebody or be directly related to or associated to with somebody who has gone through proper firearms training.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things when I lived in Boston, I was like the scout leader for the youth, the boys, I guess you'd call them, from like ages 12 to 18, and these are all inner city kids that like never been camping before or anything. And one of the coolest things we ever did was take them up to New Hampshire to like, I can't remember, it was some kind of gun club or something like that, and they took them out shooting. And these like old retired like Vietnam vets like taught these kids about like they had like World War II era rifle like M1 Garands there or whatever like and like 50 caliber pistols, and they had them shoot all these things, and these kids were just like fascinated, you know what I mean? Like and you could tell like when they like you'd see a couple of them like kind of hold it up sideways and shoot it and just like the regret on their face after that, like they put both hands back on it, like that was freaking scary, you
And
know what I
stupid,
mean?
yeah.
And stupid, and they kind of just by going and doing that thing, they learn all that you need to know. Like this isn't a toy, this isn't a, oh I'm mad at you type thing, like this is really, really serious. Like it can be really, really fun, but you could see they all walked away from it with like a profound respect for a gun, for in a way that I think really could help kids in those situations think, I'm not going to take that to school. That thing was freaking loud when I shot it. It almost knocked me over. Like, I'm more afraid of that than I am of these bullies. You know what I mean? Like, instead of I do this on a video game, so the first time I pull a trigger is going to be in this classroom or whatever. I don't know. I agree that there needs to be more like education about guns.
Well, that kid from the high school, Hunter High School, probably, told the judge, I'm a good kid, probably had no idea, had never handled or used a firearm. And this is just speculation, but it sounds like the reaction, the response to somebody who had never utilized or had respect for a firearm before.
Yeah, and maybe, and some of the kids, though, it's the opposite. Some of them, like, go and buy rounds and rounds and go out in the desert and practice, and they're like...
Becomes an obsession.
Yeah, well, and it's like the planned school shootings are what I'm thinking of, like, where they, they know what they're doing, but...
They've used the weapon.
Yeah,
before.
so I don't know what happened in this situation, but...
Yeah. It doesn't matter which way you spin it, it's super unfortunate. And it is definitely worth discussing on what we should do. And I think the three of us agree on it, but I kind of I do want to talk to people more about these guns and have a real good conversation, because I guarantee there's people out there saying more gun restriction. And it's just weird to me that I think the exact opposite. And then we can figure out what each other's upbringings are, what each other's experiences are with guns, and really kind of get to the bottom of it. So
phone lines are open.
phone lines are open. Call in now.
Please call.
Line one.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
I don't want a gun.
But, and I'm sure we can, what's the craziest thing is that I'll bet you that you guys grew up in a similar household to me, that if I wanted to get my hands on a gun, it would have been super easy. I could have gone out to right where my dad kept
I had
everything.
one for you.
Right. And I don't know if you guys' household was the same way. My household now, everything's locked away. No one can get into it but me. Not even my wife can get into it. It's just like I am the one contact point for anything. But with my dad, pretty much anyone could go in. Everyone knew where it was. Everyone knew what was going on. It was locked away, so a criminal couldn't get to it. But if you knew where the keys were and you knew how to get in there, no problem. But did that ever cross my mind once, ever? Never.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah, I could have had access to a lot of guns, but I knew that I would be killed by my father if I even touched them.
Well,
so.
if you shot someone, you would have been killed. If he just found you with one, you would have been killed.
Right.
So
it was very clear that you never ever like I'd take cash off their dresser all the time
Oh God.
and get in trouble. But I didn't even ever even cross my mind to do something like that.
Right. That's crazy. Well, it's a tragic, tragic story, and my heart really does go out to the victims. And parenting is, to me, the number one solution to most of these problems that we run into.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry to bring it down, guys. Should we cry or should we go on?
Go on.
Oh, okay. Jake's gonna cry. Let's give it a minute.
No, it's sad though. Don't make light of kids dying
Of
at
course.
school, Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
That's why I'm crying, because
Being a jerk. Yeah, that was a fake cry.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out on it right now.
do you see the tear?
No, there's no ventilation in here.
Jeez.
No, I was trying to push a tear out of my
Oh.
eye.
All right, here's how we're going to do nationwide news, okay? I'm going to say three things, and we're not going to talk about any of them, but I just want to say them so that you guys know that things are happening
Okay.
in that subject,
All right.
okay? COVID-19,
Okay.
we're not talking about it.
Okay.
Joe Biden,
Mm-hmm.
transgender athletes. That's it. We're not talking about them. Just those things are
Those are
happening.
the only three that are going on?
Well, those are the three things that I think I am sick and tired of hearing about. So there they are. But I did choose a story that I want to talk about. One campground at Yosemite is so wildly popular that they're trying a lottery this year. Did you see this article?
I think you texted one. I didn't
Yeah.
click on it, but
Well, so basically, there is California's Yosemite National Park is so popular during the peak summer seasons that they're now testing out a pilot program for campers, which is a winter lottery, which the winners get a chance to make early reservations, which I think is kind of neat. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it, though. But I want to throw this out there, too, though, before I get your opinion. So the summer camping dates are under a lottery and for July 21st through September 14th. There's a $10 non-refundable fee to enter the lottery. Okay, so you enter this lottery, they draw X amount of things. Those people get to first dibs on making reservations on these particular campsites.
yeah.
But to me, it's a freaking money grab. $10 per entry to the lottery, and they have 1,000 people enter. Like, that's great. It's $10,000 without even making any reservations.
Yeah, that's messed up government.
Or is it genius?
I
I think it's smart.
First thing I thought was that sounds like a good way to raise money for the parks. Secondly, in order to win any lottery, you have to put money down anyway.
Yeah, that's
Right.
why it's called a lottery.
Yeah, but I have a hard time with it because as citizens of the United States, we're entitled to the national parks. They're ours. Like we pay an entrance fee already.
Well, they've confronted a problem. Then that is overpopulation. Yeah, the reason why it's overpopulated is because we all have right,
Yeah.
to use them, and they want to kind of squash that problem, and this is their solution. I inherently think it's a good idea as long as they utilize that money for the parks and not for any corrupt purposes, whatever.
Like the mafia,
The
Yeah.
mafia.
the Yosemite mafia.
I guess I just don't like the principle of lotteries funding government, which they all are. All the lotteries are.
Yeah,
They made it
huge.
illegal for private people, and then all the taxes.
Exactly.
and everything.
Like
Yeah.
private companies can't.
So
do
would it be
but-
like you watch the Mega Millions, you watch the Powerball, then you watch the Yosemite lottery? Is that apparently Grandpa only lets me use the remote control when he's watching the Yosemite Powerball. That kind of how it.
That's how it goes.
I like that.
That was my favorite line from Family Guy, which is the lottery is just taxes for stupid people.
And that's from Family Guy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I say that, but I usually play the Powerball when I drive down through Arizona.
Do ya?
Yeah.
But there's
Put
a
in a bit.
difference. Like in Utah, we play it when we go out of town because we can't play it here.
Yeah.
It's the same reason we go to the beach when we go to Florida or whatever, because we don't have a beach here.
Right.
We don't go there because we love the homeless people that are on there.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Southern California.
We
Anyway.
do love them, but that's not the reason we go.
Right.
No, but I play it. I think it gives me a little bit of a thrill. Like I know, like almost factually, that I'm not gonna win that. That like mathematically, it's just like a waste of my time to pay that $2. But it's
Just time?
everything
And
and
money.
the money. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why I play the lottery when I do? I usually do it when we go up to Idaho, is because I want to talk about what we do with the money. Just
Yeah.
have the conversation.
Exactly.
What if you won $600 million? What would you do? You know what I mean? That conversation to me is very fun. And then you have the conversation. And then one of the things I always do is I always place bets with someone that I'm with. Like, if you win the lottery, you have to do this, okay? And then they say, well, if you win, then you have to do this. And you shake on it. Like the last one that the last one that we did, I told the guy I was with that he had to gold leaf one of his toilets in his house.
Yeah.
And just stupid things like that. Like you gotta hire someone to encase your toilet in gold. It's like, okay, I guess if that costs $1 million, like I got 600 of them. So
Yeah. Exactly. And then I always think about like how the government gets you if you
Oh,
win.
yeah.
Because if you win like 500 million,
It's
and
like-
you take the payout or whatever, it's going to be like
250.
250, and then the government's going to take like 150 of that.
Yeah.
So now you're down to like
Now you only
110.
won 110 million.
Yeah.
Oh, what a ripoff.
Oh, I know. Obviously, it's still great, but
But it's a
600 would be
huge- a huge chunk of the money.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, for sure.
And that's the thing. I don't want to rant off on taxes, but
Why not? It's January.
That's not one of the things I brought up that we couldn't talk about. So
Yeah.
go for it.
um,
Yeah, it's January.
but I was just gonna say, like, there ought to be some kind of exception for stuff like that because the state is already collecting money for taxes in the form of the lottery.
Yeah.
Somebody wins and now they pay taxes again. It's like why isn't there like an exception? Like let's say a person is working as a bus driver making 15 grand a year for 25 years and then their parents die and leave them $600,000 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Death tax.
Yeah, and now they got to pay all this money on that, and I don't know how that works. But what I'm saying is like somebody who doesn't have a lot of money suddenly comes into some that could really benefit their life.
Yeah.
And it's like a one-time thing. I don't think that should be taxed
I don't think so
nearly as
either.
heavily as it is. But
Is the entry to lottery taxed?
I don't think so.
no,
if it's
I
10
mean
bucks, it's-
I mean the entry that you pay for a lottery, that is the tax. That's the money that the state is collecting. If that makes sense, all of it.
So it all goes to the state.
Yeah, the state runs the lottery. So you pay $2, you just paid $2 in taxes to that state. And then when someone wins, which is rare, they pay out that money, which is like a minuscule amount compared to what they're bringing in.
So the entry goes to the state, and
Right.
then the winnings is taxed by the state.
by the state and federal.
it's almost like
'Cause it's
double
income.
taxation or triple or quadruple or the whole reason we started this damn country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To tax people.
No, to get away from double taxation.
Oh. Oh yeah.
we should be throwing lottery tickets into the harbor,
Yeah.
right next to the T.
We should. Let's
We'll go
do
to
it.
Boston to throw lottery tickets in the harbor.
Except that the gas station I buy the lottery tickets at is like so far away from water.
It's in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem.
We'd have to take a trip to Boston and do it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We
They
could-
did have the lottery in Boston.
We could bring a bucket of water, just dump the lottery tickets in there.
Yeah, it really is like when I worked in Boston, I was working in construction with some guys, and they would like when the lottery got real high, they'd pool together like say, hey, everybody put $5 in. We'll all go on these tickets together, and if we win, we'll split, kind of increase your odds or whatever. And I was like, this is dumb. We're never gonna win. But it really is like you do it, and then you like talk about what life would be like if you'd won the
That's what you're
lottery.
paying for.
Yeah,
to
Pay
me.
for a dream.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're just
Paying
kind
for
of
the dream.
you're paying for the dream. Exactly. So I'd do it like when I hit Arizona, And then that extra hour and a half to Vegas or whatever, I'm just thinking like,
Yeah.
this is what I would do.
So let's throw that out there. You have different options. We could just talk about winning the lottery right now.
Yeah.
And it would be an okay conversation. But if all of us had a Mega Millions ticket in our hand and we were about to watch the winning numbers,
Right.
and we were talking about what we were going to do, that just increases how fun the conversation is. So to me, that's why you pay for a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
The chances of you winning are pretty damn slim, but it's just fun. It's like talking about jumping off a cliff or standing on the edge of a cliff and jumping off. And I'm talking about cliff jumping into water, not suicide, by the way. But like, it just changes the dynamic of the conversation. That's what I mean when I'm like, that's why I would buy it. Is because like, what would you do? You know?
It's
Yeah.
almost like you're not even. It's like you're not even gambling. You're just investing in a creative relationship
Right.
or conversation.
The problem comes up when you're buying lottery tickets as part of your plan or solution financially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where, and people are really like that out there.
Yeah. And doing it habitually and like a ton. Like I'll buy it. I don't even check the numbers ever. I figure like if I actually won, I'm gonna hear in the news like lottery not claimed now for 2 weeks or whatever. Then I'll like look at the number. But
I love the story that you've won a minor jackpot or a minor pot, but never claimed it.
yeah,
That's what I'm
I
going
have
with.
won before. I won I think $4. So it was pretty good.
My it's kind of like a traditional thing where at Christmas time, my wife's grandma would buy all of the grandkids scratch offs from the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
You can get any gas station in New York. You can.
Well, pretty much
get
anywhere.
but
Anywhere that has the lottery.
Utah, yeah. And that was always a fun thing, just a bunch of scratch offs in your
Yeah.
stocking. You win like $4 or $5 or whatever.
So you know who
And then when you go to New York and go to, is that how you have to go to the gas station to?
Yeah, you
cash
go
it
back
in?
to
it
that
in.
gas
Yeah.
station and yeah.
that we do it for the same reason. We'll stop at a gas station and buy like a bunch of different ones, like the crossword ones and stuff like that, because it's like a game to play also while you're driving around.
Yeah.
But the person who is the best at this and who has won the most money is my wife. We'll go and spend $25 on lottery tickets, and she'll actually walk away with like $40 or $50. Like she's done that more
Really?
than once, where we've made more money than we've put into it.
Yeah.
And it's never like, cool, I won $50 on this one. It's always like $2 from this one,
Yeah.
and $1 from this one, and $4 from that one. You know what I mean?
Does
Yeah.
she have kind of a lucky streak? Like, do you notice that in other things?
She just doesn't give a crap. And so things happen to her that are just awesome. And like where me, I'm like fantasizing about what would I do with a Harley? Like, because they have the Harley scratch offs, you know, I'd be like, it'd be so awesome if I won it from the lottery. That would be so cool. And my wife's like, you're stupid. And she just scratched it off and be like, oh, I won. That's
I
cool.
want a bike. Sweet.
Exactly.
Devin and I once went into a casino in Vegas, and we had this brilliant idea that we would play roulette, and he would bet on red, and I would bet on black every time. So we would like guarantee that we wouldn't lose. And what we didn't really figure out was that also guarantees you never win because one of you wins and loses
Right.
every time.
So
It nets
So-
out completely.
the ultimate balance stays exactly
Yeah.
the same.
Well, it'd be
So-
a fun game to play, though.
So we did it like 6 times, and then kind of came to realize that we were like, "Oh, yeah, this is dumb."
That's funny.
I lost $50. I won $50.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh wait.
can I borrow $25? That's funny.
yeah,
Just give me $12.50.
Well, anyway, so Yosemite is doing a lottery now
Yeah.
for campsites. There you go. That's
There-
the end of that story.
there you go.
All right, so we're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, okay?
Okay,
And this is my answer. Brian Laundrie murdered Gabby Petita. Final answer.
correct.
Who wants to be
Is that the
a
$1 million
millionaire?
question?
I don't know. It might have been the $750,000 question.
It's pretty up there.
But you guys probably heard about this in the news. So Brian Laundrie wrote in a notebook that he killed his fiancee, Gabby Petito.
Yeah,
That's what the FBI said.
yep.
Which I'm not sure if I said this, but I do recall that when they found his body or parts of his body in Florida, that they found his backpack and it had a notebook, and that the FBI had the notebook. I think when we were talking about that on the podcast, I said, I'll bet you they'll find some information in that notebook about it.
Now maybe you did. I don't know.
or maybe I didn't.
Maybe you didn't.
And
Those
just
are the two
thought it.
options.
Yeah.
So
With my brain mouth.
I don't have much more details other than that. I mean, I have the story here, but basically to me, it just kind of seals the deal because that was the big fat question mark is like, now that he's gone, what happened to Gabby?
yeah.
Yeah, where's the justice?
I think it was pretty. I mean, everyone was pretty sure that that was the case, right? I mean, there were no other suspects. He was with her. Then he goes missing. Then he's found dead. So it made them, and they saw him fighting on the road. You know, a few weeks before or whatever.
It's one of those things where all signs point to, but
Yeah.
you never actually get there.
Yeah.
And so there's always that question in your mind of like, was it though?
I don't even know if we get there. And maybe this is just like my faith waning in the legal system a little bit, but like if he was tried and convicted, would we be any more sure that he was guilty? Like
True.
If you mean if he had lived?
if he'd lived and we caught him and tried him and convicted, but he doesn't confess, he fights it. You know, that seems to like be the only thing that really relaxes us, I guess, is the confession. Like, yes, I did it.
Yeah.
Except when you watch Making a Murderer, then you're like, now that's not even a thing. It's like, what do
Right.
I believe now?
Or prisoners, claiming that they did all these other murders. And it's like, no, you didn't, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right.
You lived in Tennessee.
Right.
This is in New York. Oh,
Sure, Mayor.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I went up there.
Sir Charles. Yeah, Chuck.
You just want to get out of your cell and into a trial, huh?
Right.
Yeah, because I'm here for life. 8x10 sucks.
Everyone who died, I did it. There.
Now give me steak dinner.
Yeah, put me on death row. I want a steak.
I want to watch TV.
Anyway, it's crazy. I mean, we make light of every single thing like that. It's all
But there
serious.
was the officer that pulled them over after basically turns out, I guess he was legally responsible for arresting Gabby Petito, but didn't. Because I guess she had admitted to hitting Brian in an altercation that they had.
Yeah.
After it was reported to police that he had hit her, she had admitted to the police officer to hitting him. So legally he was actually supposed to arrest her, but didn't. And he's been devastated ever since the whole
Of course.
Who has?
thing.
Some
The police
officer.
officer that
Oh,
pulled him
yeah.
over.
Was that in Utah?
Yeah, it was in Moab, I think.
Ugh, that's
Because if he'd
terrible.
arrested her, obviously maybe she'd still be alive. Maybe she'd have been out on bail in
Yeah,
a
it's hard to
day
say,
and
but-
back with him. And
When you're personally responsible for the potential outcome of
Yeah.
a serious thing like that, it's devastating. To you, I'm sure.
it's so crazy because like that officer was just doing something he would do
Yeah, it was
20 times that day.
Yeah,
you
it was a
know,
routine thing for
and
him.
not realize that it was about to like be a national thing or
It's
whatever.
going to go down.
Yeah,
I empathize so much with police officers. I really do. Like I feel bad because when they do the right thing, they're bad guys. When they do the wrong thing, they're bad guys. It's almost like they're just in this position that's just crazy. And that's why I always feel like giving them a smile, waving to them, I always tell my kids, wave to the cops, because they got to do something. Like you got to do something to make them validated because they put themselves on the line. Whether you like it or not, when an intruder's in your house, you're going to call the cops.
Yeah.
Or if something serious happens, you're calling 911 and they're going to be there. Whether they like you or not, they don't care. They're just there to help.
yeah,
And whether they do it right or not, they always tend to get crap. So he might have thought, man, I'm not going to detain this girl
Yeah,
just for
he
this
thought he was
thing.
doing-
Son,
yeah.
that so sucks. Sorry, you guys. Are you guys okay? Like, just carry on. And he thinks he's doing her a favor, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently a favor turns into, whatever. It's just crazy.
yeah. It's too bad.
We should have a cop on one time.
We should just impersonate a cop at the American Fork Hospital.
Yeah.
Because to show our respect for how much we
Did
love
you say?
them.
Did you say we or I? Did you say we? Because I thought you said I.
Was it?
You. Huh? Moving right along to the world news. I actually heard about this, didn't really look into it, but now I looked into it and it's freaking insane. There's a few innuendo jokes that are coming up here. If you feel free to make those
Okay.
jokes, okay?
Get ready.
A
Ready.
nuclear test monitor calls Tonga volcano blast the biggest thing that we've ever seen.
That's what she said. Is that what you're talking about?
That will suffice. I'm sure there's many avenues we could have taken that on. So basically, in that region, we did a lot of nuclear testing. So there's still test monitors to calculate blasts.
Yeah.
This volcano went off in Tonga. You guys are tracking with that. Created a tsunami, but the blast itself from the volcano was the biggest blast ever.
Really?
Not the biggest blast ever, but it's bigger than any nuclear blast.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Anything that these monitors that have been around since like the 50s or 60s or something like that, 50s, I believe. Ever since those monitors have been there, it is the biggest thing they've ever recorded.
So Nagasaki was not recorded.
So Nagasaki was like this little thing, and the Tsar Bomba, the Russian one, was like this whole room in size, pretty much. Like that's how much bigger.
So your comparison is you're holding your hand up about the size of a golf ball,
Yeah.
right? And comparing that Nagasaki to being
like a
the size of
Volkswagen.
this room.
Nagasaki was like not a giant bomb.
Yeah. I mean, it was at the time.
Believe me, it's a big bomb.
At the time, it was huge, but the United States and Russia consecutively made bigger and bigger ones to like show each other like we've got the bigger bomb.
So this
Until Russia did one so big that it vaporized like I can't remember 5 square miles or whatever, and the mushroom cloud went like 40 miles. It exceeded the atmosphere
The
pretty
moon
much.
was wobbling after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the explosion on this was like 4 or 5 times as powerful as that. Like it's insanely big. Like if you've watched the clips, it's like you can see it from space. It's like this giant
yeah.
thing, and the shockwave like going across the whole ocean. It's like insane.
So in total, 53 detectors around the planet Earth heard the low frequency boom from the explosion, and it traveled through the atmosphere. It was the loudest event the network had ever detected in more than 20 years. So 20 years.
Yeah.
But what they calculated it at was a very rough, this is a quote from Campbell Brown, whoever that is, a very rough back of the envelope calculation suggests that the energy was around 50 megatons, which to put that in perspective, I think when I was reading this article, the next largest one that these things had detected was 15.5 megatons.
Yeah.
So it's like leaps and bounds beyond what explosions are used to seeing. Now, the article went in very in-depth communicating like this was in no way a nuclear bomb. It was a volcano eruption, but when it comes to blast and effect, that's how they measured it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and you could see clips online of people in Tonga on the beach like experiencing the blast, and it's so loud it like knocking them over. And sound, like as you increase the distance, sound obviously diminishes very quickly. So for it to be that powerful, it's 80 miles away from where it went off, it's crazy.
One account that I read said after the first blast, everyone was deaf.
Yeah.
They couldn't hear anything, and they had to point, and they had to do everything by hand, and they were writing things because
Ears probably
for
ringing.
a period they couldn't hear anything. Their ears were ringing so hard. They just had to point like, we need to go, put on your shoes, we need to go, and I'm pointing all over the studio here going, we need to get out of here. But they couldn't communicate. They had to just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Kalipoki, get out. Kalipoki.
Is that what Get Out
Other
is?
Side of Heaven. That was the name of the missionary it served in Tonga.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kalipoki.
I don't know if this is still true, but I have heard that I saw a report that there are more Tongans in Utah than in Tonga.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they've lived here for a very long time, like since
Yeah.
pioneer days. And I think a lot of people from the island come to Utah, and we definitely have a huge Tongan population. And it's anyway, that's last I heard. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I love Tongans actually. Tongans, Samoans.
Yeah. I've heard similar that Utah has the largest Polynesian population outside of where they're natively from.
Seeing that might be the case, but bottom
Yeah.
line is they hear, and their culture is cool. I actually love them. They
Yeah.
can teach you how to actually cook a pig, Phil.
Yeah, they sure can.
But they didn't.
No, I just didn't pay attention good. Yeah, I felt bad. There's another video I watched where there's like this family out on the beach and the wave is coming and they're like, yeah, this is going to be so fun. And I'm like, I would be that person. I would be like, look at this big wave. This is going to be awesome. And they're like up high on the bank and the wave just comes up and it just comes
Keeps
right up the
coming,
bank
keeps
and just
coming.
knocks them all over. Like, and who knows what happened to them.
I watched a video of someone with their phone on a selfie stick, running like joyously from the wave. 'Cause
Yeah.
they know, oh, it's a big wave coming, and then it just wiped them out.
Yep.
And the lady's like, she's like laughing as the wave is like. She didn't let go of her camera, but
Why would you? It's like $2,000 phone.
And I feel for those people. I would be those people. I'm like so. I love like extreme weather events.
Oh, I would be so far gone. I'd be like, as soon as I saw a wave, I'd be like, we are going to that mountaintop. I don't care if it's a volcano.
Yeah.
I'm chicken with that.
If I had my kids, I'd probably be
Oh, that's
more worried. But if it were just me out there, I'd probably be like,
on a surfboard or
yeah,
something.
getting ready for some fun. I'm a little bit nuts with the ocean. I like when we go play on the beach, I swim out like, I don't know, probably half a mile and just like hang out there for a while. And the lifeguard always comes over and gets nervous and watches me and I wave at him every once in a while. And I don't know, I'm pretty buoyant. So,
pretty point.
so I don't worry too much, but
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's out there walking on the water.
Phil's gonna be
Yeah.
the guy that has the shark that's attached to his bicep. Did you guys ever see that video? Kind of a viral video of this guy's got a shark in his arm. It's not a giant shark, and he's out of the beach, and it's just this shark's latched onto his bicep and will not let go. And he's just holding the shark, like, guys, I need some help here.
I think I got something.
It took him hours to get it off.
wow.
Because I think the shark was like threatened with his life because they took him out of the water.
Yeah.
And it's like freaking out even further and just clamping down. They finally get the shark's jaws loosened up, or I think he was almost dying probably. And he's just got shark teeth bit into his bicep.
Oh, that's a
and,
cool scar.
yeah, it would be a cool story.
That's a cool scar years later.
This is when a shark bit me.
Seriously. Your big old biceps, or maybe they're gone by this point, but
Who knows? Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So is there now going to be a new island out 80 miles outside of
I think
Tonga?
it was like split in half or something. They kept saying it was underground.
It was underwater,
but
right?
it's an island that is a volcano. And I guess what they're saying is the explosion happened underground, which makes it even more crazy. It's like
You mean underwater?
that's what and that's why I'm confused, because if it's an island, it would be the ground.
So it was an island. It was not. I thought it was somewhat under the surface of the water.
What I'm
The
saying
whole
is
volcano.
virtually all the all the news clips I saw said the words underwater explosion or underground, but showed pictures of an island and then like the above ground. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. It was
Yeah.
a huge explosion. It knocked out Tonga's entire communications.
Apparently, they've been black communication. They have no communication at all
Yeah.
for like multiple days now.
Yeah, I guess it knocked out their main like fiber line to the island from whatever mainland, New Zealand or wherever that comes from. So internet was gone.
Can't
cell
stream
phones.
Netflix. There's no distant learning.
Yeah, no distant learning. There's no podcasts.
No podcasts. That's sad.
That's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Well, our heart goes out to Tonga.
Yeah.
And I actually was I'm surprised I haven't seen, and then again, I'm not on social media as much, but I'm surprised I haven't seen some sort of relief thing come up as far as like in Utah being able to support them, because I thought about it. I was like, man, I'd love to donate some time to put some packages together or put some money towards
A lot of people in Utah are
I know,
directly affected because their family members are there.
exactly. And yeah, and anyway, I hope everything's okay. And if
Or as okay as it can be. Obviously, it's devastating, but
Well, before the communication blackout, there was some information that came across that there was not many people dead, which is
Yeah.
good. It was like a handful, like 4 or 5, which you'd think would be insane, like way higher than that, at least into multiple digits. But
Well, one of those guys said he got kicked out to sea and swam for 24 hours
Oh, really?
before he got back or something like that.
That's the thing. They're tough people too.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, yeah,
We
got
swim
launched
every
out to
day.
sea.
Hence
Swam
all the-
back for a
hence
couple
all
days.
the videos of people like running at the water.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the videos I saw too, they were all in the house and it was up on the hill, so there wasn't a tsunami concern. But the kids would hear rocks fall from the volcano. They'd run out and grab the rocks and bring it in and be like, look, Mom, look at this one. This is
Yeah.
so cool. And then more rocks would fall and they'd run out. They have like a hood on in their jacket. Go
'Cause
out
that
and grab
works.
more
'Cause
rocks
that
and bring them
protects from
back.
falling
And
rocks.
I mean, the sense of adventure, like you're saying, is still there, and the
Yeah.
sense of play. That you'd think there'd be more deaths, but I would say there's probably less than a lot of places. So anyway,
Yeah, well, they're like I said, they're 80 miles or so from, or maybe it was 80 kilometers, so like 40 miles. They're a good distance from the volcano,
yeah,
so I wouldn't expect something super catastrophic, but I don't know. I mean, you see, we had one erupt earlier. I want to say it was in Spain or Europe or something. Earlier this or last year, that was coming right down through like a community, and they were showing like the lava wall that moves like 1 inch an hour or whatever, but it just like pushes houses over. And
that would be crazy. You want
Yeah.
to see you want to be in tornadoes and earthquakes. I would love to be right there.
yeah,
And
and
I
just
don't
watch
know-
it like eat a car.
I feel the same way about a glacier, but a glacier moves so slow. It's like not even you can't even duplicate that it's moving because
Yeah.
it's just so slow. But this is the same thing, only a little bit quicker. So like you could just watch it devour someone's house, and you're like, oh my gosh! And everything it touches is lighting on fire.
Yeah.
like it's just a boy's dream, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
But
Yep.
so I'm gonna go watch Moana because I think it makes a little more sense to me now with that evil,
Tafiti.
volcano monster. Yeah.
oh yeah.
So
Sorry,
sorry,
I guess
so
it's
boring,
not
Phil.
Tafiti when it's evil. It's Taka? No. What's the name of the
I've never seen the movie.
island? when
Taka.
she's-
You've never seen Moana?
I mean, parts of it. Like every single Disney episode of my life or movie, I've seen every single part of it separated.
in different
yeah, in separate
different
formats.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, why did that happen? Oh, yeah, the chicken. Got it.
Oh,
or
I
whatever.
love Moana.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a soft spot for like
island.
leading
Island Girls. What?
girl characters.
Oh, yeah, because you like
That's like all Disney movies.
Mulan.
you like Mulan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Beauty and the Beast?
Well, she's not really like the. I
Belle?
guess she is.
They're all about a leading female princess.
Yeah. What about Rapunzel?
Yeah, but not as like Belle.
Tangled
It's
was
more
good.
about Belle and Beast. Moana's just like about Moana.
And The Rock.
Yeah, and The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne.
And Dwayne.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, but I think what
I guess-
you're gravitating towards the powerful woman.
Yeah, a woman that like
A heroine as opposed
a
to
heroine
the
as
princess.
opposed to exactly.
Yeah.
You're a heroin addict.
Because Belle is just like
So you're the guy at JCW's in American Fork.
yeah. I guess
Fell asleep.
I guess Belle's great feat was that she was nice to the Beast and saw through his beastliness, right?
Right.
But Moana like left her family, got on a boat, went out to the sea to find some unknown being to save the world, all on her own.
I
Kinda
think
like-
the reason
kinda
you don't like
Mulan.
you don't like Beauty and the Beast as much because it hits too close to home.
No, I like Beauty and the Beast, but
It's the story of your life.
it is the story of my life. Absolutely. I'm like, I see this every day.
It's not foreign to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. You are Beauty.
I
Oh no,
am-
wait, you're the Beast. That's
I am
right.
the Beast.
Okay. All right. Well, on to the main topic. Enough with Phil's obsession with Disney princesses.
Heroines.
I want to talk
Not
about
princesses.
food. Heroin. I'm sorry. Enough with Phil's obsession with heroin. I want to talk about food.
Okay.
And I want your guys' opinion on
finally.
this. So, so what I'm going to ask you is kind of a roundtable discussion. But so, what's your favorite dish, or at least like the first delicious dish that comes to mind? We don't need to like go way in depth about it, but like I want
Got
to
it.
hear what you guys think. What is your favorite dish in American Fork?
In American Fork.
But we're going to
Like at a
expand out
restaurant?
into other locations. So,
Okay.
in American Fork, what's your favorite dish? Like, it could be a restaurant, it could be a specific thing at a restaurant, it could be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll go first with the obvious one, which is I love JCW's.
Yeah.
And I know we've brought them up already in this episode, but a JCW's just bacon cheeseburger and fries, cheese fries preferably.
Yeah.
Fucking knock it out of the park, home run. I love it.
If you get crispy fries. You don't get crispy fries?
I don't know what.
They just double fry them, right?
It's like a bespoke thing. Yeah, you tell them, I want them crispy, and they cook them, like, better.
But I like
So-
the cheese fries the most.
Yeah, but you can get those crispy, too, which I think, makes them way better.
Because they do get a little
just-
soggy.
Jeff
They get
just
soggy, yeah.
lit up like the sun on a summer morning.
Like, Jeff's now Googling the closest JCW's. That's genius.
Which we know
Phil.
is-
So
South Jordan.
that's something I've learned from Bolt recently is, like, you can tell them, like, it's kind of goes without saying, but you can have it however you want. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can be like, toast my bun extra or whatever. So I usually get a barbecue bacon burger, but I swap out the American for cheddar, add a tomato, and then I get crispy
I
fries
thought you
on the
were
side.
an always pastrami burger guy.
I enjoy JCW's pastrami burger, but I've had way better pastrami at other places.
That's fair.
And so I don't usually get it at JCW's anymore.
Okay.
What do you like to dip your fries in?
I know this is a trick question because I would say fry sauce, but they have the ultimate sauce.
There it is. There
ultimate
it is.
sauce is amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Their ultimate dipping sauce, ultimate dunk sauce. I think.
What
they
is
call
it? Fry sauce and barbecue,
Barbecue sauce,
mixed
yeah.
Barbecue
together?
sauce and mayo,
And mayo. It's really
not
good.
fry
Oh,
sauce, just
not
barbie
fry
and mayo.
sauce?
Yeah,
So instead of ketchup and mayo, it's barbecue and mayo.
it's
Yeah.
not mixed together though. They give it to you like
a dollop.
a dollop of mayo and then barbecue sauce on it, and you don't mix it
Oh.
together. You just dip it just as it is. So you got a chunk of mayo and Barbie on there, and it's and you have to get the right barbecue sauce. It has to
Yeah.
be like hickory. It's got a little kind of
Yep.
kick bite to it.
Because I'll make it at home and it's not quite as good. With
No,
whatever the barbecue
Sweet
sauce
Baby
they're using,
Ray's
it's great.
is I think what they use.
I'm gonna try it.
Sweet Baby Ray's is like the only
So
barbecue
good.
sauce.
It's
Everything
great.
else is a joke.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what? Bolt gave me the not secret recipe for their wings, the sauce. Mm-hmm. Dope. It is so good. I make wings in my air fryer now with
Yeah.
that sauce, and it is so good. I've never made wings in an air fryer. It's so easy and awesome.
Yeah, I haven't.
We
You should.
probably shouldn't divulge the recipe. On the
Oh, I will
show.
not.
But I
Will not.
but I bottled a ton of habaneros. Like I blended them up and bottled them. So I have a ton of like habanero vinegar that I'm gonna mix with some brown sugar and make some delicious sauce.
Okay.
One of these days.
Invite me over.
Okay.
I will try it. Habaneros are many times a little too spicy. For me.
I think that's pretty much what the sauce is, though. The Dave's or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. Another sauce you're talking
yeah,
about.
and it's just habanero. Like
Red Hot.
Red
Dave's
Hot.
Red Hot?
Yeah, Dave's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's.
Frank's,
That's the
yeah.
one.
Dave's Frank's brother.
Yeah.
He made an ice cream. or
It's
something.
pretty much just habanero and vinegar.
Yeah.
So
Well, I want to get to other dishes too. So
Okay,
what do you
okay.
guys like? What in American Fork? Just what comes to mind as like your favorite dish or restaurant?
you
or
know
whatever?
that's usually my go-to when I'm in American Fork. That's probably my favorite. The barbecue, the hickory bacon burger.
at JCW.
Yeah, cooked the way I want it.
Okay.
With the crispy fries, and 90% soda water with 10% Dr Pepper
You're so funny.
and a lemon. in
Really?
there. Yeah. I'm like
So club soda with the touch of Dr. Pepper.
yeah. I
a
don't
lemon.
I don't know what it is, but like I'm drinking a LaCroix right now, and I'm fine with that. Like I don't need the syrup in my drink.
Yeah.
It kind of spoils my meal. I feel like.
Yeah.
I very rarely will just go straight soda anymore. In fact, just recently, I've even caved, and a lot of places I'll notice a lot of machines don't have soda water anymore. So I'll put like maybe half Dr. Pepper and then fill the rest up with water. And I prefer
That
to
is
drink
weird.
that
It is.
to just like normal. Maybe I'm weird, I
You
know,
are
but
weird.
but it's just too sugary.
No,
And
I
And I
agree. It
love
It is very,
sugar.
yeah, it's very sugary. A full, 100% soda.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's
But
true.
Anyway,
But some people like that accent to their meal.
yeah. I mean,
sure.
there was a time when I did, but now I just don't. I don't dig it.
Wow. Jakey,
Interesting that we all choose sandwichy things.
Yeah.
Mine has always been the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
oh, okay.
Spicy deluxe with the lettuce, pickle, and pepper jack cheese.
That would be your go-to thing in American Fork.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
And I
that.
say American Fork because they have a Chick-fil-A in American Fork. Every spice, because I'm, as I've mentioned before, a spicy fried chicken sandwich connoisseur. Every single one that I've ever had, I always compare to the spicy deluxe at Chick-fil-A,
and it's a good one.
And they all have fallen short.
Have you heard of the trick that you order it without? Because it comes with pickles, right?
The deluxe does,
Yeah.
yeah.
So have you heard the trick? You order it without pickles, and then they have to make it brand new for you. They can't pre-make it and then give it to you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So they make it essentially more fresh,
More fresher or
more freshester.
more fresh just to ner.
Interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, try it out. I don't know if it works. I just heard about it.
So
was
make
probably-
order it without pickles,
Yeah. You get a side of pickles.
with pickles on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll make a fresh one for you.
So it may even be better than I'm used to.
I'm just saying, if everyone has fallen short but Chick-fil-A, maybe you could do that, and then Chick-fil-A could beat itself.
It's like the world will implode. The
See,
universe.
See, it's the
would
same
implode.
principle though as like getting crispy fries at JCW's. Your
That's true.
fries are a little more done, but you also guarantee that you're not getting old
The ones that have been sitting in the bottom
there
of the
for
pile.
half an
Yeah.
hour, 45 minutes.
Right.
Because you know what? There's nothing worse about JCW's than when you get it to go in an enclosed
Yep.
bag, take it home,
say anymore.
and then pull out
There's nothing
soggy
worse
fries.
than any place like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit quicker this round because we got more.
All right.
So, favorite dish or your favorite dish right now in all of Utah?
All of Utah.
I'll go first because
Okay.
I know I just dropped a bomb on you
Yeah,
guys.
it's a
You guys
big
need to
bomb.
think about it. It's funny because I actually just told you guys this. I wouldn't say it's my favorite everywhere, but right now it's my favorite of all time. But the tacos, Pastor Tacos at a place called Real Tacos,
Yeah.
which is a giant, it's a pink building. The whole building's painted pink. And it's by the old Cottonwood Mall in Utah. And it's just, they just nailed the pastor and the spiciness, and they didn't make it American style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make it all weak and stupid. It's
not
pretty
Tex-Mex.
legit.
It's
right.
As Mexican as you can probably get.
But it's more legit than other places. It's still not 100% Mexican, but it's right in line with where I like it.
like it's right in line with Del Taco and Taco Bell.
Okay, Jake.
I'm joking. All right. we
Oh,
see where-
jokes. I get it.
Taco time.
Taco Amigo.
Anyways, that's my favorite right now. Just 2 tacos, side of beans. Oh man, I could eat it every day. My mouth is salivating. I'm
Really?
sorry if I sound a little, but yeah,
It does sound good.
I love tacos.
I think one of my favorite dishes, I probably have several, but I really like Taqueria 27.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there at Traverse Mountain, but there's also one up in Holiday or
Yep.
whatever.
We've been there a couple times together. It's a good place.
But they usually do guac of the day. And
guac du jour.
and
What's the soup du jour?
and one of them they
Sounds
do
good.
like a different guacamole every day, and one of them has like beets and like blue cheese or something in it, like chunks. I can't remember, but it was it was like something you would be like, ugh, why would you put that in guacamole? But it was like fantastic. So
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Beat it.
yeah,
That sounds pretty good, actually.
yeah,
I love guacamole.
does.
and I don't really like beets, so
Neither do I.
yeah.
But they have a time and place, though.
Yeah, and guacamole apparently is that time.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Jakey?
I'm gonna have to try it. Oh man, my brain's just going crazy.
You're just thinking about another Chick-fil-A location, aren't you?
The Orem Chick-fil-A. They've got. Well, you mentioned pork al pastor tacos, and what came to mind was the al pastor burrito from Street Tacos Don Joaquin.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Provo. They just opened one in Linden, and then American Fork has one. The one in Linden didn't do it for me, but the one in Provo,
Yeah.
it was a repeat. 10 out of 10 will eat again.
Here's a question. Do they put pineapples in the pastor? Or no
Yeah, I'm
pineapple?
pretty sure they do.
They do.
Because some people do, some people don't. And that,
I'm pretty sure they do. They've got the rotisserie, huge, the vertical rotisserie thing where it
Right.
just drips all over itself and it's roasting all day long. They cut it right off that and put it in your burrito. It's divine.
yeah.
But it can't be my favorite in Utah. My favorite in Utah is probably going to be my international one that I'm sure is coming.
It is coming. International in Utah.
No.
I don't know if you know how geography works.
I'll share when the
Jake's never left Utah.
international outside of American
Oh,
Fork.
outside of this county. All right, well, let's just jump to that. So the favorite in the United States. The national.
So mine
It's
is
not even inter yet.
I don't even remember what it's called, but it's
Oh, sorry, this is so boring. You have to
the
yawn.
the
into your
sushi
mic.
place. The sushi place right next to the Long Beach Airport in California. And it's all you can eat, but it's not buffet style. They bring it to you. But it's like awesome. Awesome. Like they have this one dish, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like strips of salmon laying in this like lemon oil with like edible flowers all over it. And it's just like,
Are you sure those flowers are edible?
yeah,
Okay.
They're orchids.
they're like those little purple ones. They're a thing apparently when you go to the grocery
Orchids?
store and they have those little packages of herbs. You'll usually see a flower one. That,
I know orchids are edible.
Yeah, there's some edible ones, but their sushi's just like top notch, and is like maybe $35 for all you can eat. Which rarely do you go to all you can eat sushi and get good sushi. But
Yeah,
this is
it's usually
this is like
rice.
some of the best sushi you've ever had, and it's all you can eat. So you just like order whatever you want, keep ordering.
Leave regretting
It's a nice
everything.
place, yeah.
I love those places.
It's great. So I know that's not really helpful, but if you're driving to the Long Beach airport and like the intersection before you get to the airport on that road that's there,
Oh, there.
The intersection before the airport.
Yeah.
there's an intersection and there's like two opposing gas stations across the street.
Believe me, if they sponsor us, we can start giving their address
Yeah.
out and their actual name. But till then,
Well, I wouldn't recommend them now.
Till then, it's just peak refuel.
During COVID, because the last I went there, they were like, "Oh, it's COVID, so you have to sit outside, and it's not all you can eat anymore. It's like you can order."
by the roll.
Yeah, so
That's
it kind
okay.
of ruined it.
I actually don't have one on the top of my mind, so you can go ahead, Jake.
I don't either.
Really?
Like just the whole time you're talking, I'm trying to sound interested, look interested, while I'm thinking, what the heck is my nationwide
you've actually-
nation favorite?
You've lived out of state at least.
Yeah.
I've never even lived out of state.
Yeah, I have lived. Oh, I found one.
There you go. I knew I'd trigger him.
So, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guy Fieri has that show on Food Network.
Yeah.
Where he goes around different restaurants, smaller restaurants, local places around the country, and features a lot of their dishes. And there was one place called the Blue Moon Cafe in Baltimore that was on the show. Stacy and I tried it when we were living down there. They have-
What was your favorite dish there?
They have a Cap'n Crunch French toast
Oh yeah.
that I've tried to reproduce myself. Only minorly successful. But it's French toast.
Yeah.
That's dipped in the batter and then rolled in like crunched up Cap'n Crunch.
Right.
And then they fry it.
Did you go to the camp out where I made that?
Yes, I did, and it was good.
Well,
I loved it. I enjoyed it.
but it was not the same.
It wasn't Blue Moon Cafes. I don't know what they do.
Well,
I
I
need
made-
to look at the recipe.
I made
but-
mine with Oops All Berries. I don't
Yes,
think
you
I
did.
made it with Captain
You did.
Crunch.
You did. You crushed up the Oops All Berries. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was good, and their cinnamon roll was nice too.
Notch top. Top notch.
It's like, is that a special kind of top shelf? Yeah, Blue Moon Cafes, Cap'n Crunch French Toast in Baltimore City, Maryland.
That's great.
I have a bunch more if I can.
No.
Oh.
You're limited to one. I can't think. I'm going to go and then you can go again,
Okay.
Phil. I'll give you a ticket.
Okay.
There you go. So,
That was a hard ticket.
I know.
Metal
The only one I can think of right now that I am like, if I went back to another area that I've been to, because I've spent a lot of time in Southern California and Nevada, and I've been on the East Coast, but not enough to be like, oh, I have this. There's this place, but in Southern California, outside of LA, it's kind of a ghetto-y area, but it's like by the railroad tracks, and there's this restaurant, and I'm like, Phil, where I don't know the name of the place, I could tell you how to get there. It's right off their light rail system. The subway stuff or whatever they have. They don't have subway. They have a above ground rail system. It goes above and below. But anyways, there's a place.
Upway?
Yeah,
Overway?
an overway. That's it. Overway. But there's this restaurant we walked into because they were known for their Eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
They're known for Eggs Benedict. We Googled in Eggs Benedict because we really like that as a breakfast item when we go out to eat because it's a little complex to make, and so we don't always
high
make
end,
it at home.
upscale, right? You're rich. We get it. Mm-hmm.
Trust me, this place is not upscale or rich. But the whole thing was they touted like they have the most selections of different Eggs Benedict. They had like 12 or 14 different Eggs
Really?
Benedicts at this place. So we're like,
We got to try
hell
that.
yeah, let's go. So we went to this place, and it was so weird. It was like outdoor dining or indoor. The indoor dining was just a bar, but probably 25 or 30 people could sit at this bar, and it was just like a U shape. And then the kitchen staff was behind the window, but then the serving staff was just all within that U. It was like an old style soda bar kind of thing, but it was all breakfast set up, and there was no tables behind you. It was the whole room was just that. And then if you wanted to sit together at a table and not at a bar, you had to sit outside. And it's LA, so they can get away with that because it's always nice weather. So we walk in, and there's this bar that I was describing, and we sit down and we eat the food. We order food. And the food that I ordered was like a pork Eggs
Yeah.
Benedict, and I've never had that before, and it was so freaking good. And I would love to go there multiple times to try out all their different Eggs Benedict. And they had regular stuff, but they were known for kind of breakfast, lunch kind of place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't open for dinner, but yeah, I'd love to go back there, and I wish I did have the name, but I don't.
Yeah. I don't know.
What other one did you have? What did you have in mind?
So I got a couple. I'll do real quick.
Okay.
So, used to live in Boston, so ate a lot of lobster. But if you want the best lobster roll ever, it's in Encinitas, just north of San Diego, California. Yeah. It's called Lobster West. It's like right there close to the beach, and they make the best lobster roll. Like perfect. Everything about it is perfect. It is a perfect sandwich.
Oh, lobster roll is a sandwich?
Oh yeah, it's like it's kind of, you know, the hot dog buns that are kind of a roll that they cut in the top.
Right.
So that's a lobster roll essentially, and they usually like toast it with a little butter, and then they put like a lobster salad, kind of lobster and mayo in the top of that or whatever. It's really good. But this one is just like the best.
Top notch.
Yeah. So if you're ever heading down to San Diego, stop at Lobster West.
In Encinitas.
In Encinitas, I think. Awesome. If you're
Okay.
going to be in Boston and you want like the burger to end all burgers for your entire life, go to Bartley's in Harvard Square.
If you want to ruin your relationship with burgers at any other joint ever.
Yep.
Okay.
So Bartley's in Harvard Square, which is in Cambridge, just across the river from Boston. It's like you go in and it's just like three like 30-foot long tables stacked with chairs. There's like kind of bar style tables against the walls, So there's no such thing as like
Your table.
your table or whatever, and even sitting together. Like if we all four walked in right now, we're just gonna sit with random people because it's so packed
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
But it has a giant sign that says like voted best burger in America like these years. There's like 12 different years it's got it. And it's fantastic. Like the burger is like an inch and a half thick. It's like the flames are shooting up in the back there, and they're named weird things like kind of political things like the Bill Clinton or the Donald Trump or things like that. I usually got
Ew.
Or the Jeffrey Epstein.
yeah. I usually got the Viagra burger, which
It gets served to you hanging.
yeah, I usually got the Viagra, which had like tons of blue cheese on it. But it's fantastic. So Bartley's Burgers in Boston.
That
is
sounds
another
fun.
really good one. Yeah,
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I like places like that.
yeah,
It's different. I think we should get a big sign that says voted best podcast and then just start putting years on it.
yeah.
Because we could just vote in here, right?
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
Voted 5 years in a row.
We voted right here. This is the best.
Best podcast in America.
Okay, so we're going on to
That's it. Here it
nationwide.
comes.
Oh, I thought we were at
We just did
nationwide.
Oh, wait. What did I
Worldwide.
say?
Worldwide.
Internationwide.
Okay.
International. I did misspeak. I'm sorry. My deepest apologies.
Oh,
You guys are more traveled in the world than I am because I've basically been to Mexico.
yeah.
Is that it? Oh, I've been to the Caribbean a handful of times, but I'll go first. But like my favorite thing I've ever eaten outside of the U.S. was shrimp at the beach in Mexico. Did I ruin that? Did I
No,
ruin
just
yours?
Something else came to mind.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so we're sitting at the beach and these guys come up. And it wasn't even like a restaurant. These guys come out of all I could say is an altered canoe to handle the ocean with a bag. And when I say a bag, I mean like an IKEA bag, huge bag, full of shrimp. And I'm like, what? You just do that? He pulls it up. They're all still alive, gives it to his buddy that's running a grill, throws it on
Love
the
it.
grill, starts skewering them, cleaning them up, doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, yes, I want some of that. Literally the freshest, because growing up in Utah, you can't get shrimp unless it's been frozen and shipped over, right? Or overnighted fresh, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get this shrimp and I ate it off the kebabs, and oh my gosh, it was the greatest shrimp I've ever eaten in my entire life. And I didn't even get sick. That was the only street vendor in Mexico I ate food from.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could just eat it raw because it's so fresh. I probably wouldn't get sick, but I don't know how shrimp works. But anyways, that was my favorite. That was the best.
Okay. That's fair.
Jake's got 6 in mind right now.
Two.
Huh?
Yeah, well, you added one. First one that came to mind before we even talked about American Fork, I was like, how do I tie this one into American Fork? Is a Korean dish.
Uh-huh.
Any restaurant in Korea that serves it is my favorite restaurant to go to. It is very, very popular in Korea. It's called Samgyeopsal.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What's it called?
Samgyeopsal. It's like I think I may have had it with you. Were you guys both there at KOU
No.
in Murray, the Korean all-you-can-eat place?
Nope.
Just you.
Maybe
and
me,
Devin
yeah.
and Beagle and Mike.
Yeah.
So it's basically like it resembles really thick bacon, like maybe 4 times as thick as a standard bacon. Mm-hmm. And it's the basically the outside layer of the pork includes just under the skin, and then the like 3 or 4 layers under that. And you cut it up into cubes, and you cook it on the little grill in front of you at the table, which is very common in almost any Korean restaurant. You cook it right in front of you
Because they're understaffed.
because they're understaffed, and they're like, here, you do it. And you have lettuce and rice and panchans, all of the side dishes, the kimchis and all that stuff that comes in little dishes. And then the gochujang, which is the sauce or the pepper paste. It's a really dense, thick, red paste that's made of peppers, ground up peppers, chili peppers, and you put that all on the lettuce with the samgyeopsal, and
Bless
roll it
you.
up. And
So it's basically a Korean taco
yeah, it is
with lettuce,
incredibly healthy.
awesome meat.
Yeah, it's just
Good
it's
sauce, kimchi.
so good. It is by far my favorite food dish
Period.
ever.
Have you ever tried to make it at home?
No, I can't find the meat.
I was gonna say, is it difficult getting ingredients?
I met a Korean a few years ago, and she said you can find the meat at Costco, and I've looked and it's never there. But even like all of the side dishes, the kimchis that come on the side, you can't just make those. Like you gotta buy them from a Korean market, and yeah, it's a pretty elaborate meal.
Yeah.
but it's so good.
It's probably the same challenge that I have a friend. He's from New Zealand, and he came here and fell in love with Mexican food. He went back home and he's like, I literally can't make this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't have cilantro. I don't have jalapenos. It's like these things that are staples in this Mexican food I can't even get my hands on. Like
Yeah.
refried beans even. If I want refried beans, I have to make them. I have to literally cook these beans, mash them up, and you know what I mean? Which is possible, but very difficult. So he said he tried to make them, and it never is the same
That's disappointing.
for the Mexican food. But the good thing is we are actually pretty diverse here. You can go to an authentic Korean restaurant here and get some food.
Yeah, and I go on occasion.
So that's good.
A lot of them don't have samgyeopsal though, which is
So sad.
So don't cry, Jake. You cried enough today.
there's Ijo's in Murray, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's a Korean place. They do have it.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we
that's-
go.
That's good.
Phil?
Well, mine's going to be the Philippines.
Did you actually like some food there?
Oh, yeah. So the
He
Philippines.
looked at me with the most disappointed eyes
He
ever.
actually
I'm
pointed-
sorry,
pointed
Phil.
a firearm at Jeff.
So the Philippines is interesting because the extreme poverty, you can have I had a few meals that were like horrible, absolutely horrible. Like
Right.
the people just pulled leaves off of their trees because they couldn't afford vegetables and like boiled them in water because they thought that would look better for me when I ate it. And the whole time I'm like, I just ate. I don't need food anyway. And they're like, oh, I'm going to feed you.
And you will eat because it's customary
Culture.
Yeah.
and kind to do that.
They busted their butt to feed you, huh?
Right. But in the Philippines, they have a fruit called calamansi, which is like a little lime, kind of smaller than a key lime.
Oh, yeah.
But it's orange on the inside, and you can't get it in the United States. Oddly enough, you can get a tree and grow it, and I think they call it like a Philippine lemon tree. And so I have one growing in my house, but they marinate like all their meat in that, and in particular their chicken. Where we were was a really popular thing to get rotisserie chicken. Mm-hmm. So they'd have these
At
chicken
the Costco?
at the Costco. So they would marinate the chickens in this calamansi, and then they rotisserie them, and then they serve that. You'd get like a half chicken or whatever with like rice, and they have like vinegar and soy sauce on the table, and they give you extra calamansi. So you squeeze the calamansi on your rice and put a little vinegar on it, a little soy sauce, or you put that stuff in your like little dish, and then you eat with your hands. So you pull the chicken apart with your hands, you get a little bit of rice in your hand, and you kind of scoop all that. You dip it in the soy sauce, scoop it into your mouth, and the type of flavor that it is so different from anything we ever have. Like,
Right.
it's almost like seeing a new color,
right.
like for the first time in your life. So like when I first got to the Philippines, they took us to one of those restaurants, they gave us that food, and it was just like life changing. It was like there's whole parts of life I haven't even experienced. But it's just like that guy was saying, he goes home, I can't buy jalapenos, I can't buy cilantro. It's the same thing here. You can't buy calamansi, like fresh. You can buy it in like little ketchup packets, the juice, and
Right.
even that's really hard to find. There's only like one or two places in Las Vegas that carry it. I haven't found it anywhere in Utah. Actually, I think the big Asian market on 90th
Right.
or whatever carries it. But
Going on on State Street
9,000 South or whatever.
and State Street.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not. Yeah, I
It's
know
called
what
like
you mean,
Super 8 Monster Gorilla.
Next to
or
the strip
something
club?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a huge Asian market.
though. No, I know it's a
store. Yeah.
whole strip mall. It's all, and it has a big Asian like bridge that you or sign that you drive under to get into
I think
it.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that juice and that chicken is just awesome. Like my mouth like salivates in the back, like where my jaw hooks just thinking about
Right.
the flavors of eating that.
Okay.
But,
We're gonna have to end this here real soon so we can go eat food.
Well, I want to
like-
share my
okay.
other one. It was life changing.
all right.
Okay, go
In
for
my
it.
international one.
Okay.
Stacy and I went to St. Lucia a couple years ago,
Uh-huh.
which is in the Eastern Caribbean, and we ate at just a little restaurant on the beach, overlooking the water, sand, palm trees, the whole bit. We ate. I'm normally not don't ever get fish and chips from
Oh, man.
any place, really. It's just not ever been my thing. But the fish and chips there at St. Lucia, at this restaurant overlooking the beach, was exquisite.
Yeah.
It was so good. The juicy fish, the crispy fried on the outside, crispy fries that came with it, tartar sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Fish and chips to me is one of those things. It's probably like a burger around the rest of the world where there are so many varying degrees of fish and chips and burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go to McDonald's and get a terrible burger. You can go to this place and get
Yeah.
an okay burger, or you can get like the best fish and chips. But all burgers are pretty good. I'd say pretty good. Fish and chips are so underrated to me, and I think it's because I grew up in Utah. Obviously, fish was not as big of a thing. We're landlocked, but good fish and chips is like priceless. It is so good. I
How's
love
the
it.
JCW's fish and chips? Have you had them?
I've had them, yeah, but I honestly don't recall. I think they're like
So they
they're
may be-
burgers where they're better than average, but they're not unbelievable.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Good.
They're not like this place in Boston that I think Phil made up about the delicious burgers. He didn't
right.
make them up.
Bartley's in Burger Boston. place.
Fartley's or Bartley's. Just kidding. Well, now we're gonna go eat food because even though we ate right before we started, I'm ready to eat again because this is awesome. This has been the American Fork Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I love you.
And good eating.
We love you,
No, I love you. I can speak for you guys.
but I do
Oh,
as well.
Phil?
That makes it a we.
Phil, what side of the line are you on?
I don't care.
Okay, bye.